No, I didn't really expect too many people to be on here because I just kind of went live. But let me try to adjust this and get this right. Anyway, I'm live. That's so funny too. It's like wow, when you go live, it's like you're saying you're alive because you're actually in that moment of energy where you are um, being birds, sort of, kind of pushing forward. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start and record it, and whoever catch it. You know what I mean? But I kind of felt the need to go live right now and really do this energy update, but do it in a way where it's really talking to um, us as a primordial group. Not just a simple group, right? So how you doing, Sweet Pea? How you doing? You just caught it. I just like literally began. I'm just going live. So still waiting on some people to come in and join. But how you doing? How you doing? Thank you for jumping on. Um, but yeah, we're in this transition, and it's one of the biggest transitions that we've ever had as far as humanity is concerned because we are somewhere that we didn't think we would be, right? We are somewhere that in this lifetime, I'm saying, we did not. We just, saying, we even we're gonna cook it up today. We're gonna cook up some good food today. But how y'all doing? How are y'all doing? That's the biggest thing. Is there's a heck of an energy shift. Big energy shift. Hey, can y'all hear me okay? If you can hear me, let me know what's up. Let me know you can hear me. Good. Thank you, Jay. Thank you. So, yeah, man, there's a huge energy shift. But like, how are you guys? How are you guys going through it? What's up, Divine Nature Alignment DNA? I love it. I love it. It was sounding jumbled at first, but now it's good. Sweet. That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah. Before we get started, I want to make sure you guys can hear me because I know some people, were saying they couldn't really hear what I was saying. Which that ain't point of it. The point of it is for y'all to hear what I'm saying, right? But how's this energy been doing with y'all? Like how have y'all been transitioning through it? Anything y'all been finding kind of, you know, um, affecting you collectively? Because I know it's that's weird. Hopefully y'all can hear me. I'm telling you, every time I get ready to like really talk and get into it, it's like the live gets cut off or it starts chopping up really bad. It's crazy. But I'm gonna wait to. We're gonna go ahead and get started. Let me see. All right, yeah, it's looking good. All right, so let me see. I've been feeling like I finally know myself, and I put myself on a pedestal. I feel very conscious and settled. Hey, that's real talk, Leela. That's talk because that's one of the most profound changes that we're going through that we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about four. We kind of did it in theory. We said these timelines are ending. We're crashing them, right? And we felt them. We felt them falling apart. We saw people leaving our lives, all kind of stuff, right? But now through this portal, we're done with that. Like you are writing your own script. You are being your own. You're being your own writer, the own teller of your own story. And this is so significant in this time because mankind hasn't really, our humanity hasn't really had a chance. to take this step. We were supposed to take this step a while ago, but some deceptive things happened, as y'all know. I mean, we living in the matrix, so you got to know some deceptive stuff went down, right? But now is the time to take the risk. So yeah, Lilia, I hope I said that right. Yes, Lilia. Um, yeah, right now at that point where we are taking that time, that opportunity to be that best version of ourselves, to say that now is the time to take the leap from where I was to where I want to be. Again, now we're taking the leap from where we were to where we want to be. And this is, all speaking on the same things where, when we say we're creating our new timeline, we're walking into our new appointed destinies, right? And these are destinies that we have called for, that we have written, that we have said we want to see come to fruition. So now that we are at that window, guess what? We're learning ourselves. We know us now. We now know who we are. We know that we are that fractal of source. We know that we are part of the higher collective. We're not just a part of this earth realm. You know what I mean? We're anchoring in so much more than that, right? But yeah, we've all collectively been going through this. So to kind of get into it, if you guys have been having any um, real ascension symptoms, it's probably gonna play out and come out as real exhaustion, like being extremely tired. So like for the last week, like I've just been exhausted, and this is after waking up, after I call it coming to, but becoming conscious, right? Because you only really truly want to wake up one time, right? Rest of the time you're in rest, and then you become conscious. So you go from subconscious to conscious. This is what dream time and sleep really truly is. But anyway, I digress a little bit. So we are now at this collective state where we are now transforming so fast through our subconscious, through the things we truly, really, truly want, the things we've been desiring, and honestly, the things we've really been creating. But we've been creating these behind the scenes, so to speak. We didn't even know we were creating these things because these were things in the subconscious, sleep time, dream time, right? So we were creating this timeline that we truly wanted, we dreamed of, we had aspects of, right? Um, Now we are exhausted because we're doing work in the astral as well as doing the 3D work. We're tying both together now. So this started with the spiritual sun alignment with that 777 portal. I have some pictures that I posted in the community section, and these were from the moon. So gotta tell y'all this story. I am like incapacitated, right? I'm gone, just dead to the world, knocked out sleep, and or I should say unconscious because I was knocked out. All of a sudden, and I don't know what it is, and I'm trying to figure out what it is, and I kind of like just dismiss it because I'm used to paranormal activity. To be honest with you, it doesn't really bother me. I know exactly what it is, but what ended up happening was this. I did a little reading for maybe about an hour or so, and then the tapping started again. It was incessant, just tap, 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 continuously, right? So I get up and I look around, and I'm kind of thinking like somebody playing a game. So I'm kind of, getting that masculine energy on and looking around and walk out the door and realizing at that point I was guided to walk through that door and look up. And when I looked up, I gotta look at it myself. I haven't looked at it yet on the pictures, but it was probably around, I'm gonna say around 2:30 to 2:50 a.m. 7/7, right? The sun just started. I'm sorry, the moon just starts emanating. And I look up, and behind the moon, like I can clearly see behind the moon, this portal of cosmic energy, this black portal of cosmic energy, and it just starts emanating out light, and it's this rainbow light. And on these pictures on the community page, like I said, if y'all get a chance, go check it out. It's amazing. You could see it emanate, was showing how these codes are being cast out. Even while we're asleep, we're receiving these codes. The purpose and the design is happening. We just got to make sure when we become conscious in our waking time, in our walking time, I should say, then we got to understand that there's work to do there too. So now we got to be on that mission. But it was such to go there. We're doing codes. The temple is transitioning these codes while we're in the astral and we're building, and we are tearing down some structures and building some structures to be able to access it in real time in this state, right? So exhaustion. The other one, anxiety or nervousness. So a lot of people are becoming very nervous, or they're getting anxiety about what is to come because they had made their plans. And one of the things that I love from my childhood hearing, that I love repeating right now, is if you want to hear God laugh, tell him your plans. Tell you again, if you want to hear God laugh, tell him your plans, right? Because your plans are not always going to come to fruition. They're not. And the reason why is because they're not for your highest good. But when you make plans for your highest good and you ask for things, or you are, I'm sorry, not ask, you are creating, and you're asking your higher self to come in alignment with this creation, then you are now creating into your abundance, right? Not from your lack, from your abundance. So these upgrades that we're going through, it's because our nervous system is gaining more energy. We are getting so much more energy in our nervous system. This is activating us in so many different ways. This is activating our divine energy, our plasmic system, right? The plasma that runs through our body. Everything has a reason. As above, so below. As it is within, so it is without or outside of you. So at this time, we got to really make sure that these are the things that we are really looking forward to, right? That we are actually co-creating, co-creating through the collective consciousness. So 23, 24, profound change, y'all, profound change. And 23, as I have spoken before, was going to be the year the divine masculine is going to wake up. And moving into 24, that's going to be the year that the divine feminine takes her pedestal. And of course, the masculine follows right after that, right? And this happens in April, or right after April, through that portal, through the eclipse that happens, which draws the X over Memphis, Tennessee, which is the place of sort of rebellion. All right. So it carries that energy of revolution and rebellion, because we are now in this revolutionary period. When this energy manifested itself last time, we were looking at French revolutions, we were looking at the American Revolution, right? All these revolutionary wars. Well, we're having a revolution now. Now is the time to access this energy of revival, of regeneration, of revolution. In other words, re-evolution, re-evolving, doing this thing right, stopping what is going on now and saying enough is enough. Now we're going to turn this around and we're going to re-evolve it. We're going to turn it a different way. So, amazing time, right? But the collapsing timelines that we are now kind of riding the wave through, man, it's getting real, because we thought that, we kind of were where we were going to be. And I mean, don't get me wrong, most of us knew that we had some things to work on. We had some things that we're ascending towards. We got to ascend through, I should say, because we have a certain level we're trying to reach, right? But Honestly, the places we are going to go is requiring, it is requiring a must that we let the old version of self go. And why? Because the more you hold on to the old self, the more that old timeline keeps you locked in. And you can't blame no one but yourself. Because the timeline is saying goodbye. Y'all feel me? The old timeline is saying goodbye. Nothing else to do with you. And you as the soul being, you as the one that is playing the game, the soul game, in this soul game, right? You are the one that is being asked to re-evolve or reset this thing. Because you are the true currency. You you are the richest thing here. I can't even say that. I can't even say that enough. You are the most expensive thing here. You are the most beautiful thing here. You are illustrious. But do you know that? Like, do you truly know? Truly, like, do you truly know that though? If you haven't figured that out yet, that you are the valuable thing, that you are the salt of the earth, that without you, the salt, the salt doesn't flavor the earth. Do you get it? There's no value. Without you, the earth has no function. Like, I don't want to get into the teaching already, but like that, this is where we at though, because we're breaking the old program and the old timelines are done, but we're still living off the old programs. And no shade to nobody. Like, we all are breaking this old paradigm apart, and we're doing it bit by bit, piece by piece, right? When the wall crumbles, it crumbles in pieces, it crumbles in chunks. It doesn't all just come down at once. But let's get into it. Let's jump into this. And before we get into it, let me see how many people in the house. All right, we can go ahead and get started. What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? Good to see you guys. Voice of Truth, Lady Spellbreaker. What's up, Sis Star? That's my day one. Lady Spellbreaker. Oh my gosh. Sister, sister, sister. Love you, sister. I haven't seen you in a while. My bad. Hey, that's on me though. That's on me. Let me see. Got Lilia. Yep, we did that. Good deal. Solara, what's up? How you doing? It's my girl. Yep, thank you. Hey, everybody. Thank you for being in here. We about to get it started. About to get into it, right? So, Lyrical Goddess, what's up? What's up? So, now that the timelines have collapsed, the only way the timelines exist now is through your creation, through your mental structures that is giving it form. So to break it down a little bit deeper, consciousness has no form. Consciousness is. This is why we say God is. Is what? Is light. Light takes a form. Then we'll say that light is round. Consciousness takes a form. We call it a temple, a human body. We call it a soul. We call all of these things that we live in, we call all of these things certain names, but they're only the names of the forms that we have given them. They are not the true consciousness, because consciousness has no form. So with that being said, we are now renaming the forms of consciousness that have always existed, that have always been. We are taking these things like, let's say, something like music. Music is a consciousness. It has a consciousness to it that you can directly connect to. Ask any musician, ask any poet. They will tell you you can tap into the consciousness of music and become music. Music will inhabit you and you will inhabit it. So whatever you channel is channeling you. I'll say that again. Whatever you are channeling is channeling you. So be careful what you turn the channel to, because it's also turning its channel to you. Symbiotic relationship, guys. Symbiotic relationship, right? So now that the timeline has collapsed, the only way the old consciousness survives is through your own mental paradigms that you have not deconstructed yet. And the moment you deconstruct these old paradigms, these old bridges that the old entities get to use to cross over into your realm, into your energetic field, once you destroy those, they're destroyed forever, for good. You no longer have to destroy them anymore. This is the beauty of accessing the energy that we have access to now, that is in our hands. Beginning of superpower, so to speak. Because so much gets to come back online. Beautiful time to live and exist in, y'all. Straight up, right? So this means the end of the slave mentality. True freedom and true liberation. True freedom and true liberation for your soul. Because now, right now, you have the open door, the open possibility, the opportunities to write it the way you want to write it. You're the one on stage for the world to see. You are the one that is living your timeline out. Therefore, you are the one that should be authoring exactly what happens to you in your timeline. This is the power that we are being given as co-creators. See, we are the ones that are re-engineering mankind. Our children, and even some of us, are going to be the ones that rewrite the genetic code for humanity. So therefore, we're not talking about the past anymore. What you have done is what you have done. Why? Because you have broken the karmic code. You've broken through to the other side. When the Bible said the veil is thin, the veil is thin, right? It wasn't just so you could see to the other side. It was so that you could see and become what you saw on the other side. Therefore, you could manifest it through your own energy and create it. This is the beauty of where we're at, y'all. This is where it's at. So, once we realize that we have risen or ascended above the lower nature or the lower timelines, now, go back to Genesis. Go back to the book of Genesis, right? You, knowing the difference between good and evil, now sit above this frequency of good and evil, which is duality. And you sit as God, being able to make the decision of whether you want to participate in good or evil. See, this is the point of living in the duality. We have three versions of self: the past, the present, and the future. You can inhabit any one of those three versions anytime you want. So you can inhabit your past version of self, and you can live there and living in your past. You can live in your future self. You can live in your future self, right? Where you can imagine how beautiful everything is going to be, and how awesome your twins is going to be, and the structures. You can do that. But then you'll lose the current moment, which is called the what, y'all? The present. the gift that keeps on giving. The real one that keeps on giving. Not the bad one that keeps on giving. Don't give that gift. Don't give that gift. But the true gift that keeps on giving, the present. Because there's only ever the now. If you stay rooted in your now, you're sitting on your throne. The throne of the temple, the temples, the temple, right? See, it's time to kick the one on the throne claiming to be God. It's time to come in there and kick its ass off of your throne. This is the power you got now. Because, see, the divine feminine has raised within the masculine structures of this world of existence. The divine feminine energy has risen in the masculine structures. What is that going to look like? Emotional sorrow. We talked about it a little bit last week. Same thing. That emotional pain of the loss, right? The ego, the super ego being at the point now where it wants to see the betterment also, because now all of the universe is working together for you, for your ascension. This is what's so cool right now, y'all. See, you meet the resistance only for a little bit. You meet the resistance only for a little bit. Only for a little bit. And once you get through the resistance, you get to the other side where, hey, what you doing? Okay, don't jump on the trampoline right now. Daddy's on the live, okay? You can get it in a minute. I love you. All right. But, forgot what I was saying for a second. But anyway, the collapsing timelines. Let me just get back to where we kind of were. The collapsing timelines, right? Ending that enslavement. Now we no longer have to be slaves to the old programming. That's what I want to say. You no longer have to be slaves to the old programming anymore. That is the deliverance. See, you never needed a savior. You were always your own savior. But you did need a deliverer, because I need a deliverer. I needed someone to deliver me a message. And that message came and it woke me up. So we all need something to deliver something. That's how we get our mail. That's how we get our packages, right? We get something through deliverance. We get codes through the light, delivering it through the eye to the pineal, through the skin, metabolizing it as vitamin D, right? So we always need something to deliver something to us. Then we need it to be digested and broken down, because some of us are on milk. We're baby. We don't have the teeth formed yet to chew. So we're all at different stages at this point in this thing, right? But the slave mentality, having to be a slave to that system, is now your choice. So we're ending the survival programming for humanity, y'all. Make a long story short, we're ending this repeating cycle of fear that has haunted mankind for millennia. This energy and consciousness, this parasitic entity that infected the consciousness of mankind, it can no longer now eat at your consciousness and survive off of your light body, your source package. That's the gnosis and knowledge of self, that we're all one. We're coming into this union. in that gnosis of one, that we're all connected. Either way you slice it and dice it. You know, when I first started this thing, I was counseling. So it reminds me of the story. I was counseling this gentleman, and he had a big disdain for Caucasian people. He really did. And after he asked me some personal questions, you know, we had some dialogue, and I was trying to explain to him that there are people who in their last life were melanated that are in non-melanated bodies, and there are melanated beings that are in non-melanated bodies right now, because we're finishing up this thing. This is a whole cycle of ending this karmic expression of fear that humanity has been living in, right? So as we're ending this, we all are coming to the point of gnosis where we're ending the survival programming. Like, for example, what do I mean by survival programming, right? Like, lack, lack, lack. Let's get into it. Lack, right? The mentality of lack and scarcity. This promotes war. This promotes scarcity. And they do these things like say, we're going to have a reset. Or, you know, there's been a rush on toilet paper and there's none left. Oh my God. And everybody runs out, go grab them, you know, 50 damn rolls of toilet tissue and, you know, they're good now. Forget grandma didn't get none. She'll be all right. Right? That's been the mentality. It's the survival programming that we all have lived under. And now we are breaking out of that system. We are getting our new clothes, our new coding program, in other words. We're putting on the new and we're taking off the old, because you can't put fear look very bad. So that lack and that scarcity mindset, that is a programming. We've been programmed for that. Give you another way that they do it in society. Black Friday. Like they ain't gonna ever have another damn sale. Think I even heard when I was in LA, I remember I think it was I ain't gonna say the store brand name, but it was like electronics store. And they say we only got 100 PlayStations. Now these things are retailing for like $5.99. 600 people lined up at 800. That is the lack and scarcity mindset. Y'all feel me? This is the programming we've all been living under. So I'm not saying you should not be preparing. No. Take the lesson of the ant well. Take the lesson of nature well. You store up and you prepare. Please do not think that's what I'm saying, because I'm not. Y'all better be storing up and preparing, even if you're just storing up and preparing knowledge for the event that this timeline just goes boom, right? It still store up the knowledge, the gnosis of what you need to exist, continue to exist, keep your body in health, right? But that survival programming, y'all, that we've been existing under, it's like it's a five-headed monkey. So they program us in 5 different ways. The first one, and they're making a pentagram, FYI. The curse won't be complete unless they use the inverted pentagram, right? This is why it's 5-fold. Because they fold their curse 5 times before they cast it on humanity. Gosh, I wish. I ain't gonna say that either. I gotta take a lesson from my brothers and sisters. Love and light. Love and light. Yeah. Gotta do something like that, right? Because I don't want to get into that energy right now. But just know their time is coming, right? Because they've been harvesting humanity's energy to keep their financial system going. That's what the lack is about. That's what the scarcity is about. Because you have everything you need. You were promised that you would have everything you need according to the riches and glory. How glorious is your imagination? How awesome is your imaging, the imaging of your nation? Because you should be imaging your nation or imagining the action, the aviation, the ascension, right? Navigating, aviating. Where are you going? What's the purpose to your existence? That's what it's about. Because you should be working on your ship. That's what worship is, y'all. I said this before, but it's worth saying again. Worship, true worship, worship is your warship. Your warship. What is your warship? That's what we call a Merkaba, a Merkaba, whichever way you pronounce it. Your light ship, your warship. Y'all get it? Because if you are worshiping someone else, you're building their light ship. You're building their exit out of the matrix. That's why people want to be worshipped so bad. Give me your energy. Because this is true manifestation. It's men feasting on other men's energy. Man, I fest, or feast. See, this is just what the energy of the matrix has done to us, what the parasitic forms that have taken over the consciousness of humanity. This is what they have done, because they accept that energy and they like that energy. They like failure. They like you to hang your head and think that you're not beautiful enough, or you're not strong enough, or you're not spiritual enough, because then they get to eat, they get to devour. That's their food. Your food has to be love. Love. That's it. Simple as that. And I know everybody goes, wait a minute, it can't be that simple. It's that simple. It's that simple, right? So, one, let's talk as we get through this real quick, y'all. So, one, we are ending the lack and scarcity program. We're ending that. It's done. You only stay in that if you want to. We've upgraded from that. Two, we are codependency. We're ending codependency. Two, we're ending codependency. That's done. That programming is done. That programming of telling you that you need something outside of yourself to exist. You need something greater than you to exist. How does that look? You have a God that sits above you and he tells you what to do. No, you are the God sitting in the temple and you are receiving direction from your higher self. See, codependency, or I should say, we become codependent because we don't love ourselves. We don't know who we truly are. And because we're in this temporary moment of forgetfulness of the true self, the true inner being, then we become dependent upon another. And if you're becoming dependent upon another one, you're feasting on another man's energy, or you're manifesting off of them. And that can cause a sickness because it's festering, right, of energy. A festering of energy, a fusion of energy that's not dissipating or going to any cause except for what the entity that comes up on that energy can use it for. This is real, y'all. This is deep. I'm telling you how you get your soul energy up out of here. Get your soul energy up out of here. Because the harvest is ripe. The laborers are few. The harvest is ripe. So there are harvesters that go out to pull the energy up. Your energy don't have to be in that field anymore of reaping. You don't have to be in the reaping field anymore. That's a choice now, right? That's a choice. That's a choice, right? Hey, can you guys hear me? y'all know it always cut me off when I get into the good stuff. It'll just go clear. Let me see. Come on. But you are cutting out, yeah. Let me see. Yeah, let's clear this area. Yep. Yeah, I'm sorry guys. It does that. Like whenever it gets high frequency, there's a lot of entities that don't want this information to go out, and some things I'm not allowed to share. But there's a lot that we need to start talking about. We got to get this going. We definitely got to get this going. So let me see something. All right, so let's jump back on this real quick. So we're ending these programs, and what I'm doing right now is exposing the way that these programs, the way that these entities are coming at you and harvesting your energy, because they can no longer live without you. They can no longer exist without you. They have to have a form. Just recapping real quick. They have to have a form, and you give them their form. So, um, anxiety is nothing but excitement. It's the same thing. It's just a different end of an energetic spectrum. So, if this form of energy that comes at you can be um, called, named, because Adam, and y'all got to get back. Y'all got to understand, the people who've been, they did not have the spirit of truth, so therefore they received the spirit of error. But anyway, the enema, or the consciousness, the actual life force of the consciousness, needs a name. It needs to be called something. So this is how we create. This was taken from us. This is how we create, y'all. Not how you manifest, how you create. Because you know that there is a form of energy that can come across as anxiousness. It can come across as anxiousness, right? But it also can come across as excitement. So, my point is that now that we have this knowledge back of how to truly create our reality, we no longer have to repeat the cycles of our ancestors. We no longer have to even live in the past anymore. You no longer have to even go by what you claim you were. Like, all of that is done. Like, real talk. You holding on like if you were Jesus in the past life. And I know it's Yeshua or Yahushua, but I'm just using that so everybody understand what I mean. Because that name is, everybody knows that. So, if you're Jesus in the past life, think about the fact that there are like 5,000 other people walking around right now saying that they were Jesus in the past life. And I understand the energy, cycles through and cycles out. But get what I'm saying. It's time to leave the past in the past. You were who you were. Stop creating the old cycles in which you had to be a deliverer or a savior, or had to be the person that was on the bottom and had to survive. Stop creating those old stories of yourself. Create the stories of your divine future. And you do that by staying in this now. Because it's only ever now, right now. As I said before at the beginning of this live, that is the present. That is the gift. You have the gift of this present time. What are you gonna do with it? If you don't give the consciousness a form, if you don't step into your birthright of being able to name the energies that exist upon this earth, being able to define what this energy looks like in its existence upon this earth, in this dome, underneath this firmament, in this greenhouse. Like even that, I got to go this way for a second. Decisions about what you allow to happen and not happen in the earth, on the land. When you realize that you are the protectors of the land, especially you divine masculines, when you realize that you are the actual protectors of the land, everything changes. Like, think about this for 1 second. And I digress for a second, but just bear with me. If you live underneath a firmament or a dome, and there are planes flying over your head 24/7, where does everything they spray go? Into space? If you live in an enclosed system and they dump trains, oh my bad, I'm sorry, they accidentally derail, because that happens all the time, right? But you get all of these derailments where poisonous chemicals that cannot be cleaned up out of the environment for hundreds of years, their half-life is 170 something years. And it leaks into streams and lakes. Where does that go? See, when you understand where you live, you're going to understand that everything that they do has a consequence to it. And they're telling you what they're doing by doing it in plain sight. So therefore, you are low-key or subconsciously in agreement with it. Because inaction is a action, right? If I stand there and watch somebody get bullied and beat up who's done no wrong, I'm just as guilty as the ones who did it. Most people know the Bible, right? Paul sat there and watched Stephen get beat up, an apostle, one who was telling the truth, who was telling everybody of the new energy that was here, that it was time to get out of the old energy. And he sat there and watched him get his ass beat. And he held everybody's jacket while he did it. Like, yep. And was he not as guilty as the other ones? Yeah, of course. Right? And I'm showing you these old world examples because this is the now. Everything that was will be. And everything that will be is. So we in this infinite loop until we learn how to get out. But our consciousness programming is what gets us out. So recap: 1, we're losing the lack and the scarcity mentality. So now we know we have everything we need. If we don't have it, it is because we do not need it. Right? Okay. 2, codependency. We're losing that. We got self-love. We do not need something outside of us to tell us that we're great or we're good. It's awesome. It's awesome. But that's not what we need to thrive anymore. Now we are the ones telling ourselves that. And when we tell ourselves that, the outside world tells us, reflects back to us what we, the victim mentality, gone. What does that mean? At any point, relying on someone to come save us. I was just talking about this. We're no longer saying, I need someone to come in and give me a word that makes me feel better. So we're not watching tarot readings all day and night anymore, right? We're not we're not begging for the answer. We're knowing our answers, our solutions to anything that ails us. So important right now to realize that there's nothing more powerful than you. You were the victim because you didn't know who you were. You were the victim. You didn't know who you were. But you're not the victim anymore. So that old programming has to go. It has to go. Because this is one that will drag you to your old timeline so fast, y'all. Seriously. It is being a victim because somebody will come in to save you. You'll get that reflection. But it won't be to your saving, it'll be to your undoing. That's the lower astral energies calling you back saying, come on back in. Doesn't it feel good? Having to rely on somebody else, having someone else, do all your work for you, or even worse, make you feel as if you don't have to do anything else, like certain religions. You're saved already. You ain't got to do nothing else. Just ask for forgiveness. That works is dead. You have to do something. You have to do something. And that's love yourself. You have to love you. You have to love you, right? So the fourth thing that we're getting rid of is the limitations. The limitations. So by getting rid of the past, allowing the past to go, no matter who you were in the past lifetime, you've integrated all of these lessons. You've integrated all of these energies, right? You have become that better version of self. Now that better version of self is ready to ascend, is ready to grow. It's ready to be all that it can be. Now, that limitation program that comes in and wants to limit your way of thinking. It wants to limit how much you can make. It wants to limit how much you can achieve. You know what I'm talking about, right? Them thoughts, them old programs that, so it tells you ain't good enough. It exposes your weaknesses. It attacks your family. It makes you feel less than what you say you are. It's a limiting belief. And it comes in the form of a thought form that will attack you. Before you blink your eye, it's on you. So when you get past this parasitic consciousness through this 777 gateway, this portal of change, you're going to realize that you're going from this false version of self to the true self, to who you truly are. And then that's going to be integrated into the whole of us, the one. All of us being one. Coming into wholeness. Instead of being in pieces, coming into wholeness. So the slave mentality being the fifth programming that we're ending. We're done with it. The slave mentality of looking, hear me y'all, of looking and expecting the worst. Because you're so used to being a slave. That parasite has urged you and pushed you in so many ways to where you only form conscious thoughts in expectation of pain or suffering. See, you are abundance. You are abundance. You're always thinking thoughts. You are always creating thoughts. You're always creating energy. But then there is this Parasitic consciousness that shoots thoughts right at you. Thoughts that you didn't even ask for. They just come. These are the fiery darts of the enemy, as it's called. So once you understand what this is, now you can put up your shield and you can fight. And you can stand in strength with this. And understanding work with you. They need you. You don't need them. You are alive here. Even the ancestral realm. When I access the ancestral realm, guys, they have moved forward. They are moving into the new. That's why we're having to clear ancestral lines. Because they are still linked to us. And if we haven't did the work, they can't move forward. This is why we're all one. We're all interconnected. We're all doing this together. It's really deep. Because this shift that we're in right now, we're shifting from, like I said, the old identity, the old version of ourselves. It's like reading an old book. Because you are the book of life. You are the book of life. Your DNA. And your DNA is the Akashic record. Or, like the Bible calls it, the book of life. So, you are writing in this book. You're writing in this book. You're scribing in it through your subconscious. You are the watcher. You are the observer. So, the way that you observe yourself is through the reflection of others. This is why, like scripture says, things like treat others how you want to be treated, right? Because then they will reflect back to you what you feel about yourself. So in understanding that, this ID shift now goes to the true self. We no longer live in the false matrix of fear. We no longer live under the false identity of who we were. Because when you were born, you were given an identity. You were told, most of us were told what our name was going to be, and it mostly aligned with our contracts, with our soul contracts. And majority of them were karmic. We had to finish out a lot of work. But when you've gotten to the point where you've upgraded so much, it should be easy now to let that old go. Understanding that what you are letting go pales in comparison to what you are receiving. Where you've been pales in comparison to where you are. We are creating the new form. Like this is what I'm trying to get y'all to understand right now. We are creating the new human form. Because we are naming what humanity should look like by our recollecting of our soul fragments. See, you always are. That's why the phrase is I am. The phrase of power, I am, I am. Y'all get it? The need to break the slave mentality, though, that's not an easy one. It's not an easy one. I can take you right now. Check this out. Egypt, right? They'll just take the book of Exodus. And they're allegorical. Because like I told you guys, we're talking about past, present, and future, always, in this paradigm. That's why we talk about 3 dimensions. There are 3 dimensions in one. It's the 3rd dimension. Real talk. Remember, the pyramid goes up, it's like a diamond, right? 1st dimension, 2nd dimension, 3rd dimension, and they duplicate on themselves. It's like a diamond reflecting its own light. Anyway, I digress a little bit, y'all. But in this 3rd dimensional reality, you're always dealing with the past, the present, and the future. And you have to stay locked into your present. You have to be focused and conscious on staying in that present moment, or you'll miss the opportunity to create. and you end up falling into the creation of the collective consciousness. This is why the job was to ascend out of the collective consciousness, not to stay in it. So you ones that have ascended, you look back and you said, oh man, some of my peeps, they still there. So you got in the tarot, you start reading for them, loving on them, and then you outgrew that because you're still ascending. But now you're ascending even faster. Human, right? And this is only one example of how, when we're ascending, we look back to the collective consciousness and we reach out a hand and say, "Hey, come on, y'all, come on, I got you. Just hear what I'm saying." But then you get to a certain point where source takes over, and like a tractor beam, you just get pulled on out, extracted. Sure, love and making love and being caught up in the. But these programs, including the same mentality, locks us in to a lower code. It locks us in to the, and if we are not ready to take that next step, to say that we don't want the lower frequencies no more, we want the higher frequencies. What does that look like? It looks like what you say it looks like. That's what they don't want you to know. Powerful, creative thing. And if you know that, and you get with 2 other or 3 other or 50 or 1,000 other people that know the same thing, how powerful are you? You're very powerful. Very powerful. So, with that being said, that was kind of it for the energy update. You know, what we're going through in the 777 portal all the way up until the Lions Gate. And even a little bit after that, because, you know, energy comes in waves. It gets high and then it gets low. So, up until then, we have the opportunity to transform our lives, guys. To the crown, you know, Borealis. We receive our Corona Borealis back, especially in North America. Especially in North America. We receive a lot back, which is why we have the eclipses and X marks the spot, because there's a grand awakening coming. You guys thought there was awakening before. Mark my word now. Save the video, clip it, whatever. Mark my word, the awakening that's going to come after April 24th, after that second eclipse that happens, because the first one's in 2017. And this all has to do with what happened in 2001 when they averted the timeline. Because most of us were already supposed to be in union, already supposed to be doing certain, and we're not, because it was averted. So some of us still sleep. We had no idea. So what happened in New York, let me see. You know what? I've just been talking, y'all. After the update, I should have asked y'all, did y'all have anything any questions or whatever? Let me see. All right, it's breaking up again, y'all. Nah. Let me give it a minute, y'all. Let me give it a minute. Let me see if I can. Let me see. I don't want to lose the connection, but I was going to try to upgrade. But I don't know if you guys can still hear me. But anyway, let me start reading these. Somebody let me know if you can hear me again. I gotta go all the way up. Let me see. To the last time, right? It's like, yep, Glass Moon said, we hear you. Got you. The past doesn't exist, exactly. It's one and done and over. Yep. I need to hear this today. Absolutely. Yep, we in here for this. I'm telling you, yes. Create your best life today. It's now o'clock. It is now time. Let me see. Aries 106, there's no firmament. I disagree with that, but you got to know that you live in a holographic universe. If you don't know you live in a holograph, what you're ascending out of, how do you know what you're ascending to? I mean, just a question. I mean, hey, what do I know, though? I'm just talking. You don't have to, hey, look, you don't have to believe nothing I say. You don't. That is all your choice. And I'm not judging you in no way. All right. I'm using discernment versus judgment. Because when we ascend, we're supposed to be using discernment versus judgment. But anywho, if anything, you should really do a lot of research and try to disprove somebody with research. Because the things that I tell, I can actually prove. So I'm not just talking out the side of my neck just to hear myself talk, man. But like I said, you believe what you want to believe. It is your ascension, it is your soul. That's why I've learned not to argue no more. I used to argue. I was a keyboard warrior. Sitting there like, nah, this is the truth. Nah, y'all gonna listen to what I'm saying. Delete, delete, delete. Okay, no. Let me give you this. Messing up my wholeness. Messing up my wholeness. But hey, to each their own. Today is my birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Rebecca. Happy Earth Day. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming, being a part of the party, right? We in here? Let me see, Leela. I'm going to start a business and actually let the universe give me with more as I continue getting more abundant. Exactly. That's it. In this age of Aquarius, that's what we're supposed to be doing. It's about the group effort. It's not about the single individual anymore. It's about the group effort, the collective effort. And, you know, as I was speaking about, I think it started to break up, but this is why we're ascending into new soul groups. We're ascending not into new monadic groups, but we're ascending into new soul families, new soul groups. We're being taken apart and put back together. So it feels like we're just a bunch of pieces of a puzzle. But this is happening because we're being recollected and we're being assigned to our purposes. So many were called and few are chosen. There are many that are not going to continue forward because that was their choice. And there are many that are going to go forward. That was their choice. And they suffered through what they had to suffer through and did what they had to do. So that's what I'm trying to say. It's like it's new. So we're going through that. Let's see. Make sure I get everything. 60. Wow. Congratulations. What a bit of wisdom would you like to share? That's nice. Yeah, I'm sorry it's breaking up, guys. Hopefully everyone can hear me now. Okay, Lynn says you can hear me. Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Send me an email. That's cool. But yeah, like I said though, guys, you know, this is the time we're in where we are having to uh, really anchor in the change we want to be and what we see because it's dependent upon us. See, our battle, like we don't fight against flesh and blood. Our battle is not against flesh and blood. It's against our own flesh and blood, yeah, because we got to bring it into subjection. But the battle, the war, is against the principalities, the powers, the rulers that sit in darkness. So our fight is against that. It's a spiritual fight. It's a metaphysical fight. So we're trying to break the get free to recode, rewrite the future of humanity, not to relive the old. that you have already come out of. See, that's such a soul trap. I tell you guys about soul traps. That's a soul trap, to trap your soul. This is a planned net, a planned net, a planned net. And they tell you exactly what it is. A planned net. To do what? What are the planned nets there for? To catch the butterflies. The ones who got out of the cocoon. You've evolved, right? You out of the cocoon, you flying away. But the net is there to capture you. You clip your wings. So the things I say, and you're understanding that you only have one self, and that's source. When I say this, really anchor it in that this is the profound change that you needed to break the slave mentality off of your whole generational line. This is why you're here. You have broken that. Like, I can't tell y'all how deep this is. You have broken the generational curse off of your line, because there's only been so many seedings of humanity. So you ones that are here right now in the temples that you have, they are so important because they go back to the original blueprinted men and women that walk this earth. Because you are the ones that are going to go back to the original blueprint and start rewriting it for the new form of humanity. Come on, man. Y'all got to know who y'all are. You're welcome. You're welcome. All you guys are welcome. That's what we here for. Hey, you guys got any questions right now? Anything y'all want to talk about? Because we definitely going through it right now. We definitely going through it. I don't know if y'all can still hear me, but if y'all got any questions or anything, holler at me. Let it out. Let it out. Because like I said, the limitations that the things we're limiting right now, overcoming these thought forms, these thought forms have been kicking up butt for a lot of years. And now we're coming to this point where we are able to kick the thought forms out. And for you real magicians, you ones who real got alchemy in you, you know how to transform it, don't you? You know how to transform that energy, that thought, and change it into something else of higher value. Because that's what you do. That's what you do, right? You alchemize. You alchemize. You take something meant to harm you and you use it for your good. You're so welcome. You guys are so welcome. You guys are so welcome. You guys are so welcome. All right, y'all, I'm about to get off of here if that's it. I think I kind of got everything off. Yeah, I think I did. But just remember, you are an eternal being. You got to remember that. You have to remember that, y'all. You're an eternal being. You're not the body. This is a temple. This is a temple. You are the being that lives in the temple. You are the show. Let me read this. Divine scientist. So exactly yet. Take y'all on a walk around the farm because I don't know what's going on with this thing. Let me see. All right, that looks a lot better. Maybe that's a little clearer. Getting a tour of the yard. Hopefully this is better and it stops breaking up. I don't know what's wrong with it. But anyway, like I said, guys, we're at this point now where that limiting belief program is done. It's gone. And we have to be the ones to, get that out of the matrix. Because this is the Exodus, the exit of us. The Exodus is about the exit of us. To continue what I was saying earlier before it disconnected. So the Exodus, the book of Exodus is about the exit of us. And this is about the children of God, right? The children of the divine bloodline is really what it is. It's a story about the children of divine bloodline and how it was time for them to leave a place they had been imprisoned and they didn't want to go. A lot of them didn't want to go. So that same story is playing out the same way. A lot of people are not going to want to leave Egypt. They're not going to want to leave the comforts of being governed mentally. So in that, you're going to get a lot of transition, right? A lot of friction, a lot of transition. And so you just understand that and you keep moving forward. But you have to remove the limiting belief factor, or you'll walk around in the same spiritual desert for 40 years. So you don't want to become dry spiritually, right? And this is where we get to the parable of the 10 virgins. 5 had oil and 5 ran out. So this is what I'm saying, guys. This is where we at right now. To understand that we're at the point now where you're storing up your oil, or you're gonna have enough to make it across. I mean, because it's he who makes it to the end. Person who makes it to the end. All right. But anyway, let me see. Yep. Oh, awesome, awesome. Video and sound is clear now. Awesome. I'm so sorry all of the other parts wasn't. Not only transmuting energy, but creating our thoughts and words. Yep. That's it right there. 144 frequency. Right. Because see, the deal is that I do know that there's a finite amount of souls that are incarnated into each matrix, into this system, into this cube, this cubed reality, right? Holographic matrix. There's only a finite amount of souls of us. But the frequency can be reached by those who have soul fragments of soul beings. This goes deep, y'all. This goes deep because some people have primordial souls. That's why we speak of that, ancient souls, right? And then some souls are not ancient. So think about that. That simply means this, that you have some souls that are going to cycle out before others. And those new souls came from the older souls, because there's only so many that generated in here. And we split ourselves. We divided ourselves so many times. This is why we're fragmentized. So we're getting all of that back. But those new souls, they are cycling up. They're cycling up. Let me see. Do you meditate daily and for how long? Yes, I meditate daily. Those are my meds. I call them my meds. So every day I'm taking my meds. I meditate. I can't put a number on it because I can meditate for 5 minutes. I can meditate for 30 minutes. It just depends on when I feel like it. I don't force it. I don't go, I'm going to meditate at 8:35 a.m. every day. I don't do that because that's not a labor of love. That is putting myself under a ritual. And that's the thing of a sovereign soul. You no longer have to perform rituals. The very, by you doing and performing the very act, it is the ritual. You have become the ritual. So this is joined within you. Everything that you would seek to do is happening within you, alchemizing within you to be displayed outwardly. So I meditate when I feel that calling within. So I could be driving a car and I'll just pull over. 2 or 3 minutes, lock the door, close my eyes, 2 or 3 minutes, close my eyes and go ahead and meditate. Or I can, wake up and sit in meditation for 45 minutes, but it's definitely a daily practice. But it's a practice that I don't put a number on because it's my medicine. It's my medicine. It's what I need to ground and get back into my higher self. Because that's why we're meditating. We're meditating to get into a connection or develop a big time connection with the higher self. That's what it's about. Let me see. Crystalline alchemist. Oh no, you guys talk to each other. My bad. Yep, breath work, all good information. You guys, I'm telling you, man, I love my soul group. You guys are awesome. Awesome, awesome. See, I love that. You guys helping each other, getting it together. See, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. And yeah, you gotta get the meds, Glassman. You gotta get the meds. See you too, Solar. Thank you so much for being here and your support. I thank all you guys for it. But hey, I'm gonna go ahead and get off, you guys. Love you guys. Live in harmony and bliss. And like I said before, subscribe, and like and share, guys. We're trying to start a movement now of divine masculines that feel comfortable enough to come home to their divine masculinity and allow their divine femininity to show through that masculinity. So this is the time frame we're in where we need each other to stand up to lean on. So you guys know any divine masculines that even want to come on and dialogue, because I want to start this conversation with us where we can get masculines onto a platform or even start a show, some type of something where we can sit down and dialogue about this and start making plans for divine plans for where we want to see ourselves. Like, where do we want to see ourselves as a collective? You know what I mean? Like, nobody asks that question. Everybody just determines and says, and they don't realize they're separated. But it's time for the divine councils to come back to earth. It's time for the divine councils. Many of us sat on those councils. Many of us sat on those councils. Man, I'm getting into something all different. Wow. Because I really wanted to talk about this too. Not today, but how long have I been on? Oh, man. Do you guys want to hear about that? Because if not, I'll just put it in another video about the divine councils that are coming back to earth. Because that's exactly what's happening too. Awesome, awesome. So the divine councils are coming back to earth. So when you hear people saying, like, I talked to the Council of Nine, I talked to all of these other entities that they call councils that are above, as above, so below, right? So if it has a form of consciousness above, then it must have an identical consciousness or form of consciousness here, right? So this was wiped out by wiping out the Naga, the Naga dragon seed, the Magi Grail shaman line, all of these different blood lineages, because there was original bloodlines from the original seedings of mankind upon Earth. So there's been many seedings, right? This is not the first seeding, but mankind has been destroyed off of this Earth and then reseeded upon it. All right, I won't get into that because that'll take me all day, but just understand, if you want to research it, go ahead and understand that there are different seedings of mankind. So once the invaders came, the extraterrestrial, the ones from the extra parts of Terra, right? Not from up, from out, outer space, the outer space, right? This is the inner space. That's the outer space on the other side of the ice wall. But anyway, when they came in, they started to destroy these lines. These were people that had their alchemical connections with their ancestors and the celestials. So they were able to have councils of humans that were connected to their incarnation on all dimensions. So let me say that again. The council consisted of human men and women who were divine couples, and they existed here, being connected, living in their full power, being connected to all of their incarnations on the different dimensional planes. So their shadow body, their light body, their dragon form, their angel form, even their archonic form. I can't tell some people that stuff. They're like, archons are evil. But like, they're evil, and you have the other side of it too. We live in a duality. We live in a duat. But these councils are coming back. These councils are coming back because as we continually activate and we get into our unions, then what happens is we start to reconnect that gnosis or that knowledge of self, and we start to form into these councils. Now, when we were here before and we did this in councils, what we did was we counseled humanity in universal law. We did not command them to do anything. We did not put them or subjugate them to any law other than universal law. So when we sat in these councils, we did not, like I say this again, we did not sit in judgment of humanity. We sat as guidance, as directors of humanity, directing their consciousness into a certain form. So there were times the kingdom of heaven suffered violence. There were times that we rode out and took wickedness out the land. And this goes into the original bloodline that sat on the throne that the Pope wrongly sits on now. It's not even his throne. As a matter of fact, it's the only throne. It is the only throne on the face of the earth. That's the emperor's throne. Y'all want to know the truth? That's the emperor's throne. And the Pope is not supposed to be sitting on that. He's wrongly sitting on it, unjustly sitting on it, has no right, and calls himself the vicar of Christ. You're not the vicar of Christ. You look like you lost all your vigor damn 500 years ago. Talking about some vigor of Christ. Victor, man, anyway. Like I said, I got to calm down because I started saying stuff that just really don't need to be said sometimes, not at least in this format. But they are sitting on thrones that are not theirs. And these thrones actually belong to bloodlines. Bloodlines. And this is why they're able to influence the whole world, especially the throne that he sits on, the ley line and the point and source of power that it aligns with in the celestials. So this is why he could sit on that throne and say this is what's going to happen to a certain amount of people. And it happens, right? So these are the thrones that we are taking back. These are the thrones we're taking back. These are the things that we are now going forward and we're saying these are the thrones that belong to the children of men. Remember that? The Son of Man? Remember that? That's what he said, right? He didn't say, I'm the Son of God. He said, I'm the Son of Man. Very significant, these terms, y'all. But he was the Son of Man, but he was also the son of mother. And we call them Ma sons or May sons now, right? And they are supposed to be building society. So where's Mama's sons? Where's Mama's sons? Where are the Ma sons, the May sons, Ma's sons, the real ones, right? This is what's happening right now. The real Masons are waking up. And those are the ones that are meant to really, truly build society. So the ones that have been sitting on the throne that's not theirs, building society, they are now on their way out. They're now on their way out because the divine councils are coming back into being. And they're going to be coming back, claiming their thrones, sitting on them. And like I said, the main throne, the emperor's throne, there's only one. And the Pope sits on it. So he sprinkles his blood and do all of that. And you know, and it burns me up because I know that he's illegally on that throne. He doesn't even have the blood right to be on that thing. And then putting out decrees that, you know, the Saracens are the ones, the children of Sarah. Let that sink in for a minute. Of Sarah. Let that sink in. He says that they're all going to like be in perpetual servitude. So pretty much If you melanated, got dark skin, he's saying you're gonna be in perpetual servitude because he just took your land, took your blood-born right. This is what the councils meant to this realm. Because when you have individuals sitting on a throne, um, claiming themselves to be God, here we go again, claiming themselves to be God or claiming themselves to be Christ, and they ain't nothing but a mouthpiece for somebody else who claiming to be something that they ain't, because they just a mouthpiece for somebody else claiming to be something they not, just to be a mouthpiece for an entity that's on the other side, sucking up everybody energy like a dang on vacuum cleaner. It's time out for the dumb crap, man. It's time out for the dumb crap. Seriously. All these people playing games with humanity's souls. They really are. And it just pisses me off to no end because the hypocrisy is what gets people's souls caught up. Because people saying ish that they can't even do, that they don't even know about. But these divine councils that are coming back, they're going to be the ones that are going to be instituting the righteousness upon the earth through universal law, not through man's law. It is the traditions of man that separate you from the love and gnosis of source. I'm going to say it again. It's the laws and the traditions of men that will separate you from the love and the gnosis of source. And not an outward source, the source within. Feel what I'm saying? It separates you from the source within. So when you get into that energy, it pulls you apart, separates you. It separates your hemispheres. This is why we're trying to sync them back. You've been torn apart on so many levels, y'all. This is a work. This is a race. I mean, this is a endurance race, not a sprint. He who makes it to the end. But these divine councils, when they come back and they're sitting in their chairs and they are linking together, they are doing the real spiritual work. They ain't worried about no damn money. Like I'm telling y'all, man, there's a lot of agents out there and they're preaching and teaching, get your money. I am not saying that to be spiritual means to be broke by any means. No. But to be spiritual means you own the whole damn thing. Why in the hell am I going to give up the whole earth for a piece of something that loses its value when somebody else says it loses its value? But the only damn thing that's real is called real estate. What is a estate? E-S-T-A-T-E. What is an estate? That's why they call it real estate, because there's only one real estate, and that's this land. That's the only thing. And you are the land. So you are valuable. Do you feel me? This is the truth of the truth, y'all. So it's time to stop listening to these people that's telling you your value is still outside of you in the crypt. Get on the block. Get in the crypt. Let's die together. We all gonna die today. Hell no, we ain't. Your ass gonna die because I'm out the crypt. I'm off the block. You know what I'm saying? They're telling you exactly what it is. All you gotta do is open your ears and listen. But the one thing I'm not saying, let me go back and say this. I'm not saying that their intent is to hurt or harm. Let me clarify that. I am not saying the people that are teaching and preaching this intent is to hurt or harm. But I am simply saying they have not awoken to the true reality of where they live and what it's all about, which is this whole thing is an energy exchange. Like how deep this is. Right now, we're talking through a portal. You are seeing my environment right now. Y'all see all of that back there, right? I can't see yours, but you can see mine because I invited you into my world. I opened up a device that opened a portal. And I said, I'm going live. That means I'm alive in a different realm of existence. Do you feel me? So I can transmute myself. I can transfer myself from one location to another. If I can do that through technology now with a phone, do you now understand that I can do that in the physical? because it's a form of a consciousness that exists. It's real. I'm holding it. But now, how do I use that? Now I know this form is real. Now I can create the ability or create the moment where I can go from here, appear right beside you, appear in Egypt, appear in Canada, wherever I want to appear. These are the things that I was talking about when he ascended, right? He was here, and then he was there, and then he was there. They didn't know where he was, right? Because he was resurrected. You could be resurrected without dying, y'all. The councils are coming back. The councils are coming back. And the ones who are meant to sit on the councils will sit there. We will do this, y'all. I'm telling you. Like, y'all gotta see that we are doing this. And once enough of us have gotten or been brought in, the harvest has been brought in, enough of us have re-harvested ourselves. Because we're having to do the work, right? We're having to re-harvest our own energy. We're not harvesting other people's energy. We're not manifesting on them or feasting on them. We're creating ourselves. We're recreating ourselves. Why? Because we're in the womb. We're being incubated. And we're being incubated for leadership. The leadership or the councils that are coming back. So, like, for example, let's get into the Magi Grail, the Magi Grail shaman line, right? These will be people that a lot of us will call Nordics. A lot of us will call Irish, Scottish, all up in there, right? You have these Magi Grail shaman lines, and their DNA is ancient. It goes back to a whole seeding of earth. You have the Naga Council. These is the council that I remember sitting on, right? And this council of Nagas, where we were the original inhabitants of this place, the first original beings that were here, and in our glowing state, though. And I think some people even tried to refer to it as the shining ones, right? That the Bible speaks of, the shining ones that came down, right? But what they don't understand, it was a coming up. It wasn't a coming down. But that's neither here nor there either. But the Naga Council, headquartered in Antarctica, headquartered in that location, because of the constellations that are above certain lines and lands. This determines what the consciousness of the inhabitants of that land are. This is why you go to certain lands and people know, like, hey, man, I wouldn't mess around over there in Tijuana, Mexico. Hey, it's real. It's real, bro. You might get got, right? You go to certain places what it is. You don't go to hood. You don't go to the hood in Chicago. You don't go to the hood in LA or Atlanta talking crap, right? You know where you at. You better show some respect, right? Same thing. The land that you live on gives you a certain form of consciousness because the celestials are raining down this consciousness upon mankind. So God reigns upon the just as well as the unjust, right? Our source rains down upon the just as well as the unjust. So we all get this energy, and like I've said before, we're in the do-out, so we get to decide what we want to do with it. If we want to do positive or negative. Well, now that energy, we are coming back online, we are anchoring in this energy of the future we want to see. We are going to be the ones that are in the councils that are directing humanity into the new humanities, into the new sciences. Like, for example, humanity believing in, or humanity having a one world government or a one world, I don't want to say religion, I'll say concept, a one world concept of what the afterlife is not bad. That is not bad. There was always a one world agreement, always. No, what they did was they broke it. They broke it. Every treaty. What? Man, I'm going too fast. Look, this is why my ancestors even got into a treaty with these people, man. This is why they even got into a treaty with these diabolical people. Because we've always had treaties and organizations like councils that we got together and we harmonized. And we lived in peace. Wasn't none of this crap. I promise you, it wasn't none of this. There was no war. There was no war. There wasn't, men getting married and then going off 2 weeks later and being riddled with bullet holes because some freaking fat, oh gosh, because these politicians want to sit on their ass and then determine who gets to live and die. Do y'all feel me? This is why the council's got to come back. This is why we're waking up, y'all. Because it's just dumb to keep living in this existence when we have the ability to change it. But when the councils come back and we're sitting in our power, when the true high priestess of the earth and the true pope or vicar of the earth sits back on that throne and that power flows through them again, then you're going to see the whole world shine as gold again. I'm telling you. Not until they're removed from those thrones. Look at Revelation, which is called the revealing. And it's talking about the apocalypse, which is nothing but the unveiling. The apocalypse is not demons flying up and a bunch of people burning up from fireballs and crap. The apocalypse is the unveiling. That happens within you because you feel like you've been set on fire. You feel like everything that you've ever learned, everything was just wasted because things have been unveiled to you, or the veil is thin, it's been torn. And now you actually see, you've awoken. That is the apocalypse, the unveiling. Because things have been revealed to you, or revelations have come to your mind. Y'all get it? So once that has happened, now you are ready to live with that Christ within you, or the Ka. The way it was called was Ka. The original term for it wasn't Christ or Christ or nothing like that. It was Ka. K-A, Ka. Your Ka, or your soul. This is why they call a car, because it's a Ka. It's a Ka, right? It's a Ka. If I'm in New York, it's a Ka. Hey, let me get a Ka, right? I know it's a bad accent. My bad, y'all. But it's called a Ka, a car. Because you get in the car and you go to another destination. Merkaba, Kaaba, Kaaba, right? All of this is telling you that you have the ability to transport and be different places at different times. That's all I'm trying to get you to understand. See yourself for who you are. See yourself for who you are, because we are bringing this righteousness back. Righteousness back. And we're protected to do so. So all of society must be deconstructed, bringing that, well, not all of it, but a vast majority of it will be. And it will be broken down so that you can come in and build the new humanities, build the new sciences, build the new shelters, be that change that you've always wanted to see. Now is the time to be that change you've always wanted to see, because you are recreating the new earth. You're recreating it through your consciousness, through your conscious evolution of self-love within you, right? Like I said, this is why so much is going on right now, y'all. So much is going on. She's more powerful. Yep. Yep, the 13th sign, yep. I'm telling you, it's there. It's all there for us, guys. It's all there for us. We're becoming that 13th tribe. As she said, the rainbow warrior. The rainbow warrior. The ones who were promised to come. We are the rainbow warriors. The ones who were meant to come and bring the gold, bring the reminiscence, the remembering of who we once were, what we once accomplished. And like I said, we're not living in that past. We're standing on that energy, saying this is who we once was. So imagine what we can be. Let's not recreate what we was. Like people say, we're going back to Atlantis. No, the hell I'm not. I've been in Atlantis already. I ain't going back to Atlantis. Forget that. I remember that. People are crazy as hell. Had all kind of energy and all kind of power, and didn't give a damn about other people because they understood the free will. So I'm not going back to Atlantis. They can go. I'm going into the new creation, right? See, that's the soul trap. That's the soul trap, y'all, because it seems so good. Atlantis is rising again. Really go and study what happened in Atlantis. Really. Which is the reason why a lot of us twins ain't been together since then. I've been trying to get back. It's real, y'all. It's real. But anyway, I know y'all ain't asked for all of that, but you got it. Any other questions, y'all? Any other questions? Tribal resurrected the truth today. Yes, ma'am. Righteousness, yeah. Bringing righteousness back. You know what I mean? We ain't bringing sexy back. We bringing righteousness back. You know what I'm saying? I got to take Justin Timberlake's song. I'm bringing righteousness back, right? We got to bring it back, y'all, for real. Because righteousness is the new sexy, right? Think about it. You don't want nobody. I don't care how good they look. I don't care how much money they got. You are not trying to be with somebody that is not living in righteousness at this point in time. That's karma on your head, and you know it, and I know it. So we're not living in unrighteousness any longer. Any longer. We've been called to righteousness. And righteousness is not man's rules. It's universal rules. Guys, do yourself a favor too. Learn them universal laws. Here's also another key. Here's another key. If you're going to create a business, since Leo was talking about this, you're going to create a business. Do it under the energy and the mindset and consciousness of Aquarius. Because we're in the age of Aquarius, it's about groups. It's about helping the group, the collective. So everything that you design to build or to grow, do it in that energy, trying to help, or not trying, designing it to help and be of service, and it will flourish. I don't care what system they in, it will flourish. But if you do it for the money, right? The old system is using what you got to get what you want, right? That's the old system. You got to pay to play. The new system is the system of love. I got to love to do this. And if I love to do this and it serves a greater purpose and a function, I'm going to be living in bliss because of it. I get prosperity because of it. But if I don't, I get the other end of it. So it's about the whole mindset shift, the paradigm shift. You know, that's why I came on today when I did. I mean, I planned to come on, but not this long. But when you get to the point where you start allowing the universe and the cosmic frequencies to sort of have their way, you just go on, man. You don't even know how long you've been on. I mean, honestly, because this is a whole labor of love for me. Like I said, I don't ask people for money with it. I don't do none of that because it's not about that. It's not about that for me. It's about the actual evolution of humanity. I had to check on my little livestock. I got my little garden growing, y'all. I haven't even showed y'all yet. Hold on, let me see if I can. Let me see. There it is. Those are my tomatoes. So I got tomatoes growing. These are sweet potatoes. They've just been planted. So eventually, when they are done, they'll look like that. That's sweet potato. These are russet potatoes. Watermelon. And so I have all of these. That's mint and all that good stuff. But anyway, so that's what I meant by, like, you have to start, even if you don't know how to grow your own food or plant or do anything like that, still you have to start investing in the knowledge, the gnosis of it, to know that, hey, if I had to, I could do it. You know, you may not be able to do it where you at. I don't know. So there's no condemnation, but I'm just simply saying, you know, if you can start learning this stuff, do it. Do it, guys. Do it. And it's not in fear. Please don't do nothing in no fear. No, you know, I just read that about the universal law, so I'm thinking about it. But don't do it in fear. Do it in love. Do it thinking to yourself, I am doing this because I love myself and I love my family and I do not want them to suffer in any way. So anything I can do, I'm going to do it. And do it in love, right? That's not in fear. So therefore, you're guaranteed to get back love. Nothing but love, y'all. That's what I'm saying. So Let me see. Law of correspondence, law of karma. Let's go with that one. So if you're teaching people about the law of correspondence, then thank you. It's gonna be much bigger. Right now, I'm late. I'm late with the garden. I'm telling you, I should have done that a while ago. So, Vashti, the universal laws, like just coming off the dome with one, I'm gonna say the law of correspondence, right? Most people call that the law of karma, right? Now, what does that mean? That means as above, so below. As above, so below, right? And whatever I correspond to down here, I'm corresponding to up there. I am living in that form. So if I am teaching people about the law of correspondence, that means that whatever I do down here has an effect up there. So it can come back around to me. So therefore, I do not do unto others things I do not want corresponded back to me. And I know people may see it as a little bit different law, the law of karma and something else, but I think karma kind of goes and weaves itself into all of the universal laws because there's always this evening out, this balancing out that is going to take place, right? But just dealing with just like even that in its simplicity is going to help people to understand that I need to really think about the way I act, the way that I correspond to people, the way I correspond to my environment, knowing that that universal law is there and there is a balancing out that is required for not obeying these laws. And this is why they have to tell us, right? They always tell us what they're going to do. They always say that we're going to I'm sorry, law of cause and effect. Law of cause and effect is karma. I apologize. Law of correspondence, no, that's duality. I apologize. I so apologize. But the law of cause and effect is your karma. Whatever you do comes back to you. You caused it, you affected something, and now the cause comes back. So we talk about first cause, first effects, and things like that. So these universal laws help men to understand how they can form their world and be in accord, in alignment with all of the cosmological energies. You know, um, the gosh, you got me off guard with this one. Um, the law of divine oneness. That's what I was trying to get to. The law of divine oneness. The law of one, that we're all one. And that's kind of what we're talking about now, what we're coming back to, the first order. The first order, the law of divine oneness. Oh, yeah, the laws of my, no, those would, even though they're good. But those laws come off of the universal laws. So that's kind of example of what I'm saying. If you had a society and you so decided, like say for example, there was a new land across the ice wall, and you and your people inhabited it, and you had children, and you so decided that the laws of Ma'at were what you guys were going to go by. As long as they're in divine accordance with the universal laws, you're never going to have a problem. No society is ever going to have a problem with another one if they are following the 12 universal laws. Honestly, honestly. Like I said, the first law, right now we're coming into divine alignment with that first law, the law of divine oneness, because now we're being made into one. We're being created and joining these new soul groups and going into unions, being made one. So you can see the universal law in effect in our lives. So therefore, we know everything is connected. So we don't fight the connectedness anymore. We look for how it is connected and then use that to better our life and our existence. So that's kind of what I'm talking about. Let me see. Yeah, I thought you told me. Yeah, that's cool, man. Oh, sis, I'd love to be able to see the gift you're giving. All right, guys. Well, I love you guys. I'm going to go ahead and let y'all go. I'm living harmony and bliss. And I'm trying to do a live every Sunday. So I'll post a little bit earlier so you guys can kind of come into the room earlier and we can chop it up a little bit before we get started. All right. But thank you guys so much. I appreciate you more than you know. And like I say, like, subscribe, share, and let's start this movement, y'all. Let's start building these councils. All right. Love you guys. Live in bliss, y'all. Wholeness. 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 Not pieces, being wholeness. All right, y'all.